Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. Huh? So come get some. CromCon. CromCon.
Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network with original programming and additional comic-related content.
Hey, we want to shout out to our sponsors, Daytona Beach Comic Con. If you are a fan of comic books, if you're a fan of comic book conventions, and if you like meeting comic book creators and getting comics and comic-related stuff, then you need to make your plans to attend Daytona Beach Comic Con. This year's show is September 9th and 10th. Silverline will be there, so you should make your plans to be there too. We'll see you there. If you like comics and find yourself in the Orlando, Florida area, doesn't everyone come to Orlando at some point in time to see the House of Mouse? But when you're here, you need to make it a point to visit Coliseum of Comics, especially the one on East Colonial Drive. They carry Silverline comics, even a limited edition Coliseum of Comics version of our comics. So, when you go, be sure to ask for Silverline Comics and tell them we sent you. OCD stands for Orlando Collector Deviants. OCD, Steve and Trish, they're a family of geeks who promote geek things, particularly those around the Orlando, Florida area. They're big supporters of Silverline, and we think you should be supporters of theirs too. Go give them some love. If you are an independent comic book maker and you need to get your independent comics made, you need to look no further than Kablam Digital Printing. They print our books, and they do a bang-up job. They're not only trusted by Silverline, but many, many independent comic book makers. Head on over to kablam.com and see for yourself just how easy it is to have your comic printed by them. And tell them Silverline sent you.
Hi, this is Tim TK, host of That Silverline Show on Tuesday. Join us at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific every Tuesday night as we discuss pop culture and the joys of making comics.
Hi, I'm Barb Kilber, co-host of Silverline's Wednesday Wham. Join us each Wednesday nights as we discuss comics, literature, movies, and anything else that may catch our attention.
I'm Roland Mann, and I host Silverline's Silver Sunday. Join me every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern as we make mine Silverline.
Oh, and we're live. And
we are indeed.
I don't even know what to do. It's been so long. Hello out there, interwebs. Hello, universe. Those of you listening on interstellar channels and spying on us from across the universe. It is Wednesday Wham, and I'm back for a little while. And Dean has been so nice to let me slide in, nudge him aside briefly, and let me try to host the show tonight. And I'm going to do my best. And across the table, I got my good buddy, Rory Boyle there. Yeah. And we are sharing a basement presently for this show. Rory drove all the way from Ohio to deliver the banner that he picked up down in south of the Mason-Dixon. Does the line extend that far?
That's Memphis.
Over to hang out with Dean. And we've got Dean, we've got Aaron, we've got Barb, we've got Rob Davis tonight. I don't know if other folks will be joining us, but this is the first Wednesday show of 2022. Am I right?
Yep. You are indeed.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. I'm not very good at maths. I write words, and numbers are not good for me. We are going to be talking tonight about resolutions and our plans for 2022, and we're going to expound on that, writing habits, goals and ideas, and how we're going to make it happen. And we're going to do awesome things and create amazing stories. Before we get into that, it is our custom for everybody to say hello and give a quick intro. I'll start with me. My name is Scott Wakefield. I'm the co-writer and co-creator of Steam Patriots, and you can buy that right now on Indie Planet. That #1 is out there. Go grab a copy. I'm going to pass it off to Rory. He's right over there.
Well, thank you, Scott. My name's Roy Boyle, co-creator of Team Patriots here with Scott. And glad to be here. Glad Scott's back online. Ohio native. Scott's got me covered.
Hey, how about we go across the bottom of our screen? We'll go around the horn to Rob.
Hello, I'm Rob Davis. I'm the penciler and inker of Twilight Grim for Silverline Comics. People will probably know me best for the Star Trek books in the 1980s and 90s.
We've heard of the 80s and 90s, yes, and Star Trek, awesome stuff.
Some of us actually remember some of those days.
Awesome, thanks, Rob. And Barb, say hello.
Hi, Barb Kilberg. Excuse me, I'm very germy tonight, so if you see me coughing, I apologize. I'm creator of Divinity, colorist on Sirens, and a CFO for Silverline. Been in the industry for 30 plus years.
Aaron has nodded off. And Aaron.
Yeah, I know.
We're live, Aaron.
I am. What am I? I'm the penciler on Fire Rush and the upcoming Obsoletes, and I am finishing up my own book right now, which I have
as we speak.
5 pages. I have 5 pages left.
Oh, cool!
Right.
Whoa!
And then it'll be one great big 300-page book.
Holy crappers!
Wow.
That's a thesis.
Wow.
Opus Magnum. That is incredible. Awesome.
Yes.
And
so no, I'm listening to you guys.
We know the gears are always turning. You've got that germ of wisdom, not the germs Barb has, but this germ of wisdom to chime in and give us your sage 2 cents. Dean, host extraordinaire, allowing me to slide in and stand in your shadow. Say hello, Dean.
Hey, I'm Dean Zachary, your sometime host of Silverline Wednesday Wham. I'm also, I was the penciler for the reboot of Cat and Mouse for Silverline, and I'm currently the penciler and inker for Silver Blade, which is in development and due out later this year. And we're just happy to have Mr. Scott Wakefield, sometimes known as Swake, here with us tonight to help guide us through a myriad of resolutions and resurrections and all kind of craziness that will happen tonight. So take it away, Scott.
And I will let you all see how orderly and organized and planned my life is. If you just do what I do, and you'll be on the track to success. Little Dean Zachary art back here too. I want folks to know that is
thank you,
Dean. Right there. I think that is Dean too.
Yeah. Sure.
Sure.
Years and years ago.
It's something I aspire toward. We've got an extra with an amazing background there.
Oh,
amazing background.
Hang on.
A man who's had, as far as I know, if I've been stalking appropriately, some big news lately. Yes, you got life changes on the horizon, Mr. John Medic III.
Is that better?
That's much better.
Yes, much better. Wow.
I got new headphones for tonight, so I'm like, wait, which button is this? Which flashy thingy? So, so Facebook stalking and new horizons and big things in life changes. You were saying? You mean like my new book coming out this year?
Well,
this month.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah. And the fact that I got engaged over Christmas break.
Big news.
So thanks for noticing. I appreciate that, Scott. That's very cool.
I mean, who's the victim? I mean, who's the lucky woman?
But seriously, folks.
You want to know how sick and deranged she is? She actually tunes in and watches our shows.
She's one of our biggest fans. I know.
She is.
And she still said yes. Wow.
John divulges a lot of secrets on the Wednesday Wham show, so she's probably learned more about John.
Yeah, she's actually logged in and watching from her phone right now. So.
What's her first name?
Amy.
Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Amy.
Thank you for Thank you for taking John off our hands and
Making an honest man out of him.
Welcome to the sanatorium.
It's
So
good to
you're
see everyone.
engaged? You're
Yes.
engaged, John?
Yeah.
Until the drugs wore off?
Do I look like Bill Cosby to you? Come on.
Ooh, wow. Well, we just lost an affiliate. There they go.
Yeah, there you go.
Sponsor the call.
Hey, look,
And the affiliate was no
Look who's-
dose. So
look who's on, folks.
Hey,
Look
looky
who's on.
there.
Amy says hello. Mm-hmm.
Hey,
How
John,
cool is that?
Lovely lady.
Quick intro. We're doing our one sentence intro, and then
sure.
we're talking resolutions tonight.
awesome. Hi, everybody. Name is John Medic from Beta 3 Studios, publishing Sniper and Rook through Silverline Comics, kickstarting January 2022
Yes.
in what I like to call the I Want Your Christmas Money sale.
we know you returned that shirt. We know you returned that sweater. You got those gift cards. Can we back a comic with a gift card? I think Roland, there's an option that like an Old Navy gift card, you could mail that in. And...
As long as it's not for like linens and things or Toys R Us or any
The candle store.
The defunct stores, yes.
That's awesome.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Again, I haven't been looking directly at the calendar, but I do believe it is January 2022. So
yeah,
that's right around the corner. That's fantastic. We'll give you a chance to plug a little more information, tease a little more for our Wednesday fans, because we love to give them the inside, the secrets. So Ruby Tuesday card.
For one comic.
for one comic. Right?
If I had Ruby Tuesdays nearby, I'd take it.
Yeah.
They've all closed.
I actually may be willing to actually mail out a back issue or two from the first volume for that gift card. So if that viewer wants to send us their information, I think we might be able to work something out. That would just be way too funny. Infrafan. That would be very cool. Yeah,
That's
hit me up on Facebook. Well, let's talk.
Thanks, Infrafan.
I love it. I love it.
See what I got yesterday?
It's upside down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Look how
nice.
big that
So,
sucker is.
I got mine last week.
What stories are in there, real quick? I don't know. You don't have to know off the top of your head, but who's in there?
Everybody?
Everybody.
Yeah, just about.
We didn't.
Yeah, I'm in there
There's
twice.
like, I don't know, 13, 14, 15 stories in here? Or
Yeah,
more?
a bunch.
Bunches.
All kinds of different genres, all kinds of different stories. There's something in there for everybody.
And
It's a nice sampler for Silverline.
Actually,
it really
yeah.
is.
It's
But
a sampler
Roland says
platter.
he's not doing it again.
It's like
he says it
herding
was
cats.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
I can imagine it was.
I know how annoying I was, and my story didn't even make it in there. So, hey, it is 2022. If you didn't notice, and we've got another year. It's an arbitrary date, but I mean, it's a time to take a look. What's going on? What's on the horizon? And some people love resolutions. Some people hate resolutions. I heard that the national average for New Year's resolutions lasts 3 days, and that's an average.
I thought it was just
Wow.
first trip to the gym.
Yeah. So I'm not opposed to resolutions. I like to regularly take stock of what I've got going on in my life, what is on my plate, how many flaming chainsaws I'm juggling, and perhaps drop a few, because like a lot of folks, like we're all creative folks here and folks out there watching. We like to say yes to all the shiny things, right? We like to, ooh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. And it's hard to say no to something fun. And you really have to, as a professional, for me, professional, you've got to realize you can't say yes to everything, and you've got to be really good at a few things and really excel, because a lot of times you're going to be not so great at a lot of things if you're really overdoing it, or you're gonna drop the ball. You're gonna you're going to fail a lot or come up short. So for me, because I say yes to a lot of things, I take the new year as a time to trim. Use the analogy of an apple tree or whatever. You got to prune. You got to get rid of stuff. So what's good can be really good. And one of my resolutions this last week has been to trim out what I can. And I haven't been on the show for a couple months right now, and there's been too much, and only so many hours in the day. So the show had to sacrifice for a little while. I couldn't be here, and it really made me sad. A lot of stuff was outside of my control, but I'm trying to control what I can, and if it has to go away, it's if I can get rid of it, great. If I need to, if it's in the way, if it's impeding a goal, you can always use another analogy of shortest line or shortest distance is a straight line, and if you're trying to get to your goals by doing every which way, or to keep it in the nautical analogy, course corrections. If your destination is that way, yep, there you go. You're not going to get there. So take stock of your goals. Are you on that track? What distractions do you have? And it's just like any project. And I've talked about this before with my writing process. I like to start at the end, and then I like to work my way back with the big milestones, fill the big things in, and then find the connections. So with life, if there's stuff that's not getting me to that goal, short term or long term, and goal of this year, obviously, hopefully, is to get another issue of Steam Patriots out at least. And so what's in the way? And I've got to get rid of all that stuff. So really long.
Are you breaking up with me?
That's my monologue, and I'll pass it off. Does anybody have concrete goals that they've written down or that they have planned? And it doesn't have to be writing. I mean, like, is there fitness or travel goals? Because
Barb's got a hand raised.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Oh, I think she's looking around.
Your hand in the background.
Oh,
there's a voice coming from the dark. Who is that? What, my goals for the New Year's? Oh my God, I need to get better at allotting my time. My original idea was to get all my extraneous stuff done in the mornings and then spend all afternoon at Silverline, and somehow my extraneous stuff keeps bleeding more and more into my afternoon. So I've got to get better, more self-disciplined about that, because I keep finding excuses not to sit down. And I really, I've got 40-some pages of sirens to color that I've been working on for over, well, it's a 80-some page book, and I've got half of it done, but it's taken me a year because it hasn't been a priority, but I need to make it a priority. I'm still sucking on my cough drop there.
That's fine.
That's okay. That's all right.
And I'd like to I'm also in the process of middle of issue number 3 of Divinity. I want to get issue 3 and 4 out this year.
Yep.
I'll have a new penciler on 4. Alex is he was laid off of his job, so he's been having to focus more on commissions.
Yeah.
To try to make ends meet. And I totally understand it. I hate to lose him because it's just the most amazing penciler. But you got to do what you got to do for your family. So I'm totally supportive of him trying to make a go at his commissions. So you'll see a new team coming up pretty soon.
So you know who it's going to be, or okay? You're not saying, so I'm assuming it can't be announced yet. So I'll let it go with that.
I'm superstitious. Okay, I think
I don't want to jinx it.
I have a lot of artists that just don't talk about that sort of thing until it's in the can, because it'll otherwise.
Yep.
So that's my goal as far as Silverline is concerned. Personally, I need to lose 30 pounds.
Pounds. Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
My daughter's wedding is coming up in June, and then I have a 45
Oh,
year
you
class
too?
reunion.
I have a daughter getting married in June.
All of a sudden, I'm in a meltdown about lose weight.
I got to get back in my suit.
So that's me. Next.
Cool. Excellent.
I don't want to cough on everybody here.
What about you, Rob?
I do have a very I have a goal to lose some weight because my daughter too is getting married in June, and I have a suit that I bought for my son's marriage a couple of years ago that I want to make sure I can get back into because COVID has added pounds, definitely, and an inch or two. But my plan, I've finished up Twilight Grim. It's all completed. All 4 issues are done, penciled and inked, and they're off being worked on. I think 3 should be shipped out sometime this month from the Kickstarter. And but the 4th one, I'm not sure when he's going to put that one up, but it's all done. It's off my table. I don't have anything on the table for Silverline, but I do have a project that I'm doing with Ron Fortier that we're probably going to self-publish. That, like Barb, I'm not going to say much about because I don't want to jinx it either. But I'll be doing almost all the chore on that. I'll be doing the penciling, inking, lettering, and I'll essentially be the publisher too. So that'll be a 4-issue thing, 24 pages, 22 to 24 pages each. So I'll be on that for a while.
Can you tease any information what it's going to be about?
It's a sequel to a book that Ron did in the, I believe it was the 1980s or 90s. And I've been bugging him to do a follow up to this because the book that back then got left, the story finished, but it could easily have gone on to another one. So I've been bugging him to do this for a number of years now, and finally I said, well, I'll draw it if you want to get it going. And he goes, okay. So,
it's hard to pass that up.
And so I'll be starting that probably in the next week or so.
What does it rhyme with?
I'm not going there.
Sounds like. So not to brag.
It's not Green Hornet. It's not Green Hornet. So don't go there.
In the weight loss discussion, I still fit in my boot camp clothes. They might be sweatpants, but I still fit in.
Right? Okay. How nice for you.
Yeah.
You still got a young metabolism.
It's the elastic rub on the sweatpants.
Well, yeah, I've got a few of those. That's why I wear pajamas half the day.
Even that's pretty bad.
John, we know you've got is this year the year? Are you tying the knot this year? Is that or is that not set in stone? Not I don't want to get too
No. So actually, it's kind of funny because when you had said about New Year's resolutions lasting all of 3 days, that's how I brought it out on Facebook that she and I made a New Year's resolution to make this the last year that we were single. So I hope that resolution lasts more than 3 days. So we're looking for 2023.
Okay.
There's she's got a daughter, I've got a son. We're trying to figure out timelines with them in school, my kiddos finishing high school, a whole lot of things to fit together. So so that'll be then. So that's not their New Year's resolution for this year. I, much like Barb, do suffer from the everything encroaches into the time. And work encroaches into the time a lot, and granted, that's what keeps the roof over my head and my kid's head and soon to be, Amy's head too, and the dogs, but it's increasingly difficult to try to find time to focus. I did set on my Google calendar every day at 8:35 a reminder, did you write your 2 pages today? So if there's 2 pages, that'll get you progress. And I made sure that was in there. So it started January 1st with the reminders. and it didn't work a single day when January 1st, 2021 came along, and every day for the last year I hit swipe. So, but I've kept it there. So I'm going to try to start doing that, next week. So writing at least 2 pages. My plan, we've got the Kickstarter coming out in January. So that's, resolution, get a book out. Then issue 2 from that miniseries is already being penciled. It is looking fantastic. And that's a 3-issue story arc. I've also got another story arc. 1 issue is already penciled, inked, ready to, actually 2 issues of those are ready to go into coloring stage. If I could get 3 or 4 books out this year, I would be ecstatic. And that would actually kind of get me back into the groove, which I need. Madonna reference was intentional.
That's awesome. And Tommy, are we going to have you in the car the whole night? Or are you going to cut out? I want to give you the chance to talk. Tommy, we can see you.
Tommy looks creepy.
Something's
more
going
so
on,
than
yeah.
usual. He reminds me of the time
with his hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the underneath of his bill. Wow.
There he is.
I think he's creeping in
Tommy.
the El Taco bathroom.
Tommy, what's on the horizon for you for this year? Have you locked in any resolutions? Anything written down?
Nothing written down, but mostly it's to try to figure out how to get on the Wednesday show without having to be driving in the car.
Good deal.
And so it's making better use of the time that I've got. Not that I'm dying, but you know what I'm saying. I guess we're all dying. You know what I'm saying.
We're born dying.
No, just trying to make better use of the time when I'm at the house and I'm doing the comic book stuff and not getting sidetracked on doing stupid YouTube stuff or making better use of my time because I've only got so much of it and I really there's a lot of things that I need to get done and I just hadn't been doing it because I've been getting too pulled in too many directions at once. So that's my goal is to try not to get so sidetracked.
Yeah, and it's tough when you're running your own business.
Notice a reoccurring theme here.
Yeah, we're all easily distracted. I think. I mean, other than maybe Aaron.
Yeah,
Aaron.
I get a little of that too.
Aaron.
And maybe build like a studio in my car so that way I can actually get on the shows a little better when I'm driving around.
Yeah.
You get a self-driving car.
That's it.
Tommy.
There you go.
Get a self-driving car.
Yeah.
Then you
on
then
the
you
phone
can
right now. He's probably watching.
Wait a minute. It is a self-driving car. I'm myself is driving it. That's not what you meant?
No. But then, see, you have a self-driving car, then you could actually ink while you drive.
Oh,
you're usually inking while you do everything else because you never
see. That I probably could sell that to my wife. That would be a good thing. Say, look, I can get more weed.
The roads are smooth enough for him to actually.
Dude, that is such a good idea.
I'm always thinking, man. I'm
Consider
always thinking.
Hiring a butler of sorts, perhaps, maybe.
Chauffeur?
Yeah, an elderly British gentleman, perhaps.
Yes.
Named Alfred.
Jesus,
just call him Alfred no matter what his name is. And then...
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to cut you off, Tommy. I know you're driving, though. So
No. I just wanted to jump on a minute to tell you guys Happy New Year, all that Christmas stuff. I saw everybody was on there. And I just wanted to come on and say hello.
Thank you. Hello. Good to see you.
Happy New Year, Tommy.
Good to see you're still
Get some sleep, man.
Happy New Year. Scott, it's good to see that you're on there, buddy.
Thanks, Tommy.
Later.
Good to hear. What about you, Dean? What do you got on the docket?
Oh man, it's dovetailing from everyone's time management theme. Obviously, that's part of it, but for me, it's also setting what I call mini deadlines because you obviously have all these lofty goals, whether it's I'm going to lose 50 pounds down to whatever. But I always look at it like this. you don't want to think about all the meals that you're going to eat between now and the end of the year.
Oh, that's what I do.
You're going to eat one meal at a time for most of us. Maybe not Tommy, at Del Taco, but most of us are going to eat. Hey, Tommy. Happy New Year, Tommy. No. One meal.
Happy New Year.
One meal at a time. Good night, everybody. No, one meal at a time. So I thought, okay, think about it in terms of art. So for doing a page, try to get X number of pages done a week. I'm not going to say what the number is. I'm going to see what I can do and then stick to that number. So, and then I'm constantly on my calculator, like going, okay, if I do 3 pages a week, then that's this many a month, then that's this many, so I can kind of schedule out when the book can actually be ready to go to lettering and colors.
That's what you got to do.
One thing I did that I'm sure Tommy's happy about because he's got the time management challenges. I'm inking my own stuff, Tommy. So there.
I saw that. That looked really good. I liked it.
So, thank you. No, it's time. I mean, I should have been doing it a long time ago, but it's one of those things where it took the advent of digital inks to get me to dive in there and the forgiving nature of layers, right? So I don't screw up the original, it's like, I hate that line, delete. I hate that line, undo. I hate that line, undo. So you get the right one. So I'm still slow and I'm still learning, but the main thing is it's a twofold resolution. Set a weekly goal for pages, ink my own pages. So, hopefully that'll end up getting me 4 books this year. I want to do 4, not 1, 4.
You have Procreate, don't you?
I have Procreate, yes.
I love Procreate.
Pro. Yes,
it's like
awesome.
Photoshop for dummies.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And I've been struggling through Photoshop and Illustrator for like 15 years. So I kind of know more complex programs. So learning Procreate's kind of like, oh, okay, they dumbed it down to this. They dumbed it down to that. So it's real easy. I mean, it's real quick.
I love it.
Okay,
so
I'm going to have to check that out now.
No, it's awesome, Rob. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. The iPad Pro is what just a plug here, not that I'm plugging for Apple, although if you guys want to subsidize me, that's fine. iPad Pro is probably the best investment as a comic book artist I've ever made because
I think so too.
If I wanted to, I could do the whole comic on iPad Pro, but it would take forever, so I'm only going to do pencils and inks. But that being said, the intuitive nature of the interface combined with just how quickly it is to execute something. I inked that piece that I showed some people here in the group. I inked that thing in like less than an hour, and it was no big deal. And a lot of it is
and it shows.
when you draw it. Yeah. Thanks, Aaron.
That's
he's
easy.
just mad. He's mad because he's not inking my stuff anymore. So he's mad.
Yeah, he took
right.
the crayons away from me.
See, I took the crayons away. No, but what's cool about it is, and what I love about the Apple Pencil is, you can set it to eraser, Barb. I don't know if you've been doing this, and you can literally dehatch. Right? You do hatching, or you do a blob, and then you just reverse out the hatching far, and then add it back, and then take it back out, and it's just you just do that all day till you get exactly what you want.
I already have Procreate, and I've got a pencil, so I should pull that out
and
start playing with it.
Yeah,
I
don't have the big iPad anymore. I found I wasn't using it enough.
Corned beef.
Well,
so I got
I tell
a smaller
you,
one, but
I had never done any digital art at all until 2 years ago, and I picked up an iPad at Christmas, and by January, Roland already had me coloring a book.
Yep.
It was just that quick.
Yep. It is.
If I didn't have to do anything on paper anymore, I don't think I would. I think because it's just so convenient and so much easier to do.
Well, you could do it anywhere. That's true. And you've already got all the ink and brushes and stuff that you need right there.
You never run out of the ink. The ink doesn't dry up. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You may run out of power. No, I didn't think about that.
The one
I'm
thing I
already
really
doing
like,
all my
the
coloring
one thing I
work
really
on
like
the
about it
computer.
is, and I gotta admit, I'm in my 60s, and my hand isn't quite as good as it used to be. But on Procreate, you can set the streamline function.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
if your
Seen that.
line is just a tiny bit little jiggly, it smooths it out. I'm like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it does. It
Oh,
looks
yeah.
just the same as it did, when I was in my 20s. So
And you guys are all we're pretty artist heavy tonight. Well, actually, no. 1, 2, 3. We got a good number of writers. Has anyone looked into or read any reviews? Is it called Remarkable? That pad that's supposed to
That
act
looks
like
really
paper.
interesting, doesn't
It looks really. It's a little spendy, so I've been reluctant to.
You have to subscribe to it to be able to save
is it?
things, and it's
Oh, is it?
yeah,
It's a cloud.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is elaborate on that for us?
It's a tablet, and I don't know what the surface is, but it is supposed to. They say it's supposed to feel and respond like paper, and
it's got a little resistance.
Stylus is
Yeah,
supposed
you want a little bit of tooth to it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So it's
And
not like you're banging plastic on glass, which
Right,
is just the iPad out of the box with the pencil. Yeah, it's just like tap 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 tap. So you need to put a little, just something. I use a matte screen protector, but there's all kind of different ones you can get.
There's screen protectors that you can get for your iPad that give it a paper feel.
So I haven't read enough. I wonder if beyond that feedback, it's something special, and I don't know. I didn't know if anybody had done any reading on that, but it looked interesting because
I've looked at some videos of them of it actually being used, and it looks very much like a pencil.
Right. And
it feels like a pencil, looks like a pencil.
Yeah.
It works like a pencil. So it's if it quacks like a duck.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love,
but apparently
like
it works very much like like that. But it's of course, again, it's unlimited lead in your pencil.
Right. And I like writing longhand. It slows me down a little. I like being able to scribble things out and make notes as I go.
Yeah, it's a part of the process.
Right. And I can have all my notes with me, but I can take my computer with me, and taking a notepad and all that. I feel like this would be a device that would be super helpful. So
yeah, I'm trying to think. I think it also will recognize your handwriting and turn it into typing if you wanted to. I think it has that capability, but I'm not sure.
What I don't want to do
iPads
then
have that. But
I don't want to transcribe my writing. I want to transcribe my writing. It's so much faster to have it and then have it and then save it and off it goes. But
in the editing process,
actually going from handwritten to then typing is a great step to go.
We've got you coming through double.
Yeah,
Scott.
we're getting an echo probably because
I'm sitting.
You guys are in the same room. Yeah.
I don't know how to make that except if Rory moved.
No, it's better now.
Well, he just muted.
Rory turned his microphone off.
But he's got so much to say. I won't leave him muted for long. Why don't I mute me, and Rory, you go on to tell us
my resolution. I misunderstood the assignment. I thought we were talking about the HMS resolution and her nautical superiority.
Oh, very nice.
Very nice. My bad. It was my fault. Mea culpa.
Does that mean you don't have any
my
resolutions?
creative resolutions, they definitely finish Team Patriots Dose, start number 3. And personal creativity. I'm working on several novels at once, but I usually only sit down with them when I have like a great idea and the juices are flowing. But I have so many ideas that I need to like kind of coagulate them down into what's feasible and just work on scene by scene by scene. Because like I don't go backwards, like Scott was saying. I have a linear progression forward in time, but I see out in front of it all the big steps that need to happen. So that I can flush those out and then go back in between and fill in all the filler stuff.
So do you outline or do you just do the outline in your head?
I just do the outline in my head. Sometimes if I can get a great one-liner or a great scene, I'll put that down on paper and then come back to it. So a loose outline. And otherwise, I'm going to school full time, so I am a full-time student of the sciences. So doing well in school is my top priority.
Well
That's
done.
good. That's good.
That
Well,
is good.
except for when you get late night ideas from your friend that won't stop sending
You're right,
you
yeah.
concept ideas,
When
and
we
you're
have a
like,
super
I've got to
secret
study,
squirrel
dude.
project.
And he's playing banjo in the background, and then it's like stuck in your brain all night long. And
Maybe somebody else.
Might be,
that
maybe another different collaboration here.
Indeed. We'll talk about that as it develops,
Oh, yeah.
right?
It's gonna be
yeah.
good.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it is.
Knock your socks off good.
Oh yeah.
You want to, if you want to mute yours. Yeah. Now I can talk. Yeah, in the writing process, Rory touched on, we've touched on this before. I know, as the writing process, we've talked about setting a goal, and I know I beat the NaNoWriMo drum all the time, but that's the biggest thing that helped me get my writing down. Was I knew I had to get 1,600 words a day. Now this is for long form noveling. 1,600 words a day if I wanted to get 50,000 words in a month. And Dean, that's what you're saying. Just how do you eat an elephant? Eat it one bite at a time, one tiny chunk. And just like weight loss, they all say, and you just one thing a day, and you're sooner or later you're going to have a lot done. And after a month of writing, I was amazed by what I had. And now that was a really concerted effort to get that done in a month, but we can't, it's tough if having a day job, having another job, to sit down and dedicate that time. I mean, that's what John was saying too. John, I mean, everybody's got their situations, but I know that there's kids and there's routines and there's meals and there's pets and there's doctors and there's
that occasional sleep. Yeah.
Sleep. It's very difficult. So the thing too is not beat yourself up if you're not getting those things. You
leave that to us.
Yeah. Leave that to your friends.
Yeah,
to beat you up. I knew friends of mine. They were trying to have a married couple trying to have a date night, and when the date night wasn't working, it was like the anti-date night. It was making them angry, and so that's not the point. You can't take a good thing and then let it, when it doesn't happen, ruin everything else. So you got to take it with a little bit of understanding and a little bit of compassion for yourself if you have these creative goals, or you got to give something up too. And that's that. Like I said, that's what I started with. I'm trying to trim back down so I can get back to what I want to get done. What is in the way? What is the impediment that is stopping me? So, and it's tough. And especially in the creative world, especially with writing too, where it's hard to quantify. You can quantify words, but then when you get to editing, I edited 10 pages today, or I edited 2 sentences, but did I make 2 really amazing sentences? How do you quantify that? How do you say, yeah, I did? It's a great day of work. And that's tough. And in the visual world, if you're creating, you could. Dean said he did some awesome work in an hour, but you might take a whole day to do one image, right? I mean, it's hard to quantify. It's hard to say. I really knocked it out of the park today. So I think it's just as long as you're creating, and if you're creating every day, that's great. Creating something and sitting down and doing something to make that progress. And I'm not doing it right now. I'm not doing it every day. And so I don't kick myself in the butt, but I'm really trying to refocus and redirect this year to do it.
Well, you can let Aaron kick you for that.
Yes.
He'll do that for you. Two things that help me in terms of not letting the creative struggle bleed into the personal life is you compartmentalize your frustration, particularly any sort of negative emotions that result from a creative puzzle you're trying to solve that doesn't happen to work out that particular day. What you learn to do is just, okay, that was that. That has nothing to do with, going to dinner with my wife or whatever. And so you set it aside. That's the first thing. The other thing is, if you set up a recurring time of day where your family members can expect that that's the time of day that you're going to go into your creative zone, And, you know, unless there's blood and stitches and broken glass, they don't bother you in that time, right? That's your time. There it is. You're working and the door's shut. And, you know, I mean, you don't go Jack Nicholson during The Shining on them. You never do that. But you just say, look, you know, I'm working, you know, and this is what I do from this time to this time. Now, that brings me to a question for everyone. I just want to throw it out there. Scott, I want you to run with this first. What time of day is your most productive time for creativity?
That is, now if I want to be, oh man, first thing in the morning, coffee, quiet, work. Now, then I feel like I'm writing more focused and direct and coherent. Meaning if I'm going to write a good story that's going to make sense, and that's going to be my best product. Now, if I want to get flowery and woo, you know, 2 a.m., you know, can't sleep, 2 a.m. stuff that comes out, that's some okay stuff, but I don't think that'll ever turn into something that I'd want to publish. It's fine. It's creative. Yeah. It's creative. It's writing, it's creating. But it doesn't, what it does is keeps the creative gears turning, keeps that going. And then, okay, then I can get to writing a real story that people are going to read first thing in the morning. Because if I also just logistically, if I keep putting it off, it'll never happen. It's going to be then off to work. It's going to be home. It's going to be evening routine. It's going to be kids. It's going to be bedtime and dinner and all that. And and then I'm going to be exhausted. And then I'll think I can write some sort of amazing work. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We got Phil saying, hey.
Phil Leon says, hey, yo, Silverline peeps.
Hey, Phil.
Yeah. So first thing in the morning for me, and I have to do it. Because I know, and I'm trying to beat myself up. Saying that same thing, Dean. Like you can't let it ruin the rest. But I just know if I don't get it done, and that's also a good time because my wife's not particularly a morning person, and if the kids aren't right out of bed immediately, you know, I can be up before everybody else. And that actually just sets the tone for the rest of my day too, which is one of those pearls of wisdom for me that I wish I adhered to more because I know it's a good thing. So that really long answer.
No, that's good. I'd love to hear maybe from Rob too. Like Rob, being a veteran as you are in this business, what and an artist, what's the best time? Are you an all-nighter? Are you a night owl? Are you a morning? When do you get your best work done? I mean,
I'm a night owl. Okay. When I was a freelancer, my best work usually took place after 10 o'clock at night until about 1 in the morning. My life doesn't work that way at the moment. The way I have it set up. I get up in the morning and my day starts with Perry Mason.
Nice. Very nice.
I have breakfast, I watch Perry Mason, then I read email, and that usually takes me up to about 11. I fix lunch, and then then I might go back to email, and if I'm not feeling productive yet, and I'll fuss around with that until 1 or 2 o'clock. And then from 2 to 4:30, I work on stuff, and then my wife gets home from school. She's a teacher. And we watch the evening news and have dinner and spend about an hour or 2 hours with each other. And then I head upstairs probably about 6:30, 7 o'clock and work till 10. And on MeTV, Perry Mason comes on again at 10:30 at night. I watch.
That's funny.
Start my
Murder She Wrote Superior,
and I end my day.
Murder She Wrote. That's what you're watching all day.
So Perry Mason bookended.
Bookend Perry Mason days. So, but most of the really productive hours are in the evening from 7 to 10:30. So that's when I get most of the stuff done. But there are days where I will get in there about 11 and just start cranking, and things will just pop until about 4 o'clock. And I know my wife's coming home. Gosh, I'm in the groove, but I got to get downstairs and do the family thing for a while. She probably wishes I'd spend more time, and I understand that, but I also want to get stuff done. So I'm in my 60s, heading toward 70s, and I'm going, I've only got a certain number of years left, and I want to fill those with creative stuff until I can't create anymore, till my eyesight goes or my hand goes or, whatever. So I want to keep at it while I can, and I'm still feeling pretty good about that aspect of my life. I wish I could get the weight off the belly and do some of that, but unfortunately it was easier to put on than it is to take off. So
very true.
Got that right.
Very true.
Oh, way too easy. Yep. And especially as you get, when I was a young man, I could eat anything and I was skinny. And then I hit age 25, 30 and went boop. So, but that's how life is. I'm telling my son that now, and I think he gets it finally. But
when he's 35 and everything he eats stays on him, it'll change. Then
yeah.
Try having a couple of kids and seeing what it does to your body.
Yeah, well, yeah. That does it too, because you want the kids to eat, so you're eating so that they get the idea. So yeah.
Hi, Richard.
Richard Dunn.
Hi, Richard.
That's a name I've heard before.
It's a name I've heard in a long, long time. What about Aaron?
I done heard it.
When do you work?
When do I work?
Good one.
Yeah. I'm a night owl. You should go to bed about 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh wow!
So I work all night. So I've been working now, so that I procrastinate as I get towards the end of projects, because in my head I feel they're done. So I am trying not to procrastinate on this one. But after this, I have obsoletes I'm drawing, and then I have 2 projects I want to do, and we'll see which one goes. But I have one comic that I'm not sure which one I want to do first. But then I'll be writing and planning while I'm doing obsoletes. So
cool.
Yeah, taking a little time off. But yeah, that's usually when I work. I work at night.
Yep. Quiet. No, the phone doesn't ring.
Yeah. There's no one bothering me.
Well, I'm retired now, so that changed up my entire dynamic.
Yep.
And like I said earlier, I try to get all my mundane things out of the way in the morning. I'm going to yawn here, sorry. This thing's taking it out of me. So I try to catch up on all my social media, do my, I'm the power of attorney for my mom, do stuff like that, go to see her, answer my emails, do accounting stuff for Silverline. I try to get that all out of the way before 11:30 when I have a yogurt for lunch, and then I sit down and I work until 5 o'clock. That's the way it's supposed to be working anyway. Yeah. And then at 5 o'clock I fix supper, or Dick fixes supper, depending. And then in the evenings we catch up on the news and our programs. So cool. I should have a solid 5 hours of just solid work every day. And I do that 6 days a week, by the way. And then Sundays is a complete couch potato day.
I've learned to multitask with my stuff. So I play video games while I draw. I know that sounds very bizarre to a lot of people, but
we can tell. We can tell.
Everyone's face.
But anyway, I had to, man. I just said
Richard's.
No. You can tell. You can see it in the art or whatever. Yeah.
Hey,
so yeah,
Richard's asking, what are obsoletes?
The obsolete is a new comic coming. I think the first story, they have one in the Christmas special. That's the first appearance of them. The first issue's in the bag. The second issue will be coming out soon. It's like a sci-fi story. I think it's one of our first sci-fi stories. So I'm working on the obsolete right now. I'm finished my own comic, Godlings, and then I will be working on obsoletes. So I have 5 pages left of this book, and then I have to figure out how to combine this thing. I'll print all the issues, but I got to figure out how to figure out the price point of a 300-page book.
Ooh.
It's in color.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So that's gonna be kind of we'll figure that out. That might be if you want it all in one, you might be spending a little bit, but it'll be worth it.
Paperback.
So
It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Oh yeah.
Phil says late nights at the drawing board, night break, unite, and then he says pulled an all-nighter last night and another one tonight. Nighttime is the right time.
I
find that
30 years ago.
For me.
Yeah, I used to work. I used to work all day long, and through the evening, and into like I would put in 12 to 16 hours a day. When I was,
me too. Yeah,
when I was working for DC or Marvel, because I was in high demand. So to crank out 2 books a month, I worked 7 days a week, and I would work all through the night too. Some of the times. But I'm not that young anymore. I can't keep that kind of schedule, 9 o'clock comes, I'm like,
well, it wasn't good for you then, and it would be even worse for you now. It's very hard on you. No, it's very hard on you physically.
It is. It's very hard on you.
To spend that many hours sitting, number one, and just I know of one artist who actually started having little strokes because he was spending so many hours at the drawing table. He finally had to stop.
It's not good for your eyes to stare at that white sheet for that long.
No. Or screen.
Or the screen. Yeah, I'm going through a problem right now, staring at a screen for too long.
I'm not making fun of the gentleman who had the stroke, but I just wonder if all of a sudden, like, you turn the page and it's like, wow, okay, I can see that happened here. And like, strangely enough, that actually became Charles Soule did Peanuts. That became his art style. His hand used to shake, and over time, his hand shook, and it became a part of his signature style. Later on, he actually incorporated that into it.
Believe it or not, I spent so much time at the drawing board for 10 years that my right arm, shoulder, and hand were actually much more muscular than my left.
Yes.
Because I was this all the time.
Yeah.
And I'd go to the chiro and they'd go, ooh, what is wrong with you?
The little bump on your...
Oh, yeah.
Pencil
massive.
Where you rest the pencil?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling Rory wants to say something. I get just a hint of...
Go for it. I was going to say, I'm all in on the night owls. I feel like I'm far more creative in the evening. And I think it's because all day long I'm science major, very analytical, very scientific. So it's just one half of my brain being used up. And then my relaxation time is letting the other half of my brain go wild.
Yeah, putting the other side to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what about, like, do you have bursts of creative information that come in at inopportune times where you have to just sit down and record this?
Yeah.
I have that as a writer.
Middle of a conversation. That's like,
yeah, sometimes it happens at inconvenient times. Christmas Eve, I don't usually go to a lot of church, but I always go with Dick to Christmas Eve Mass. I'm sitting right in the middle of Mass. I'm like, I've got this really great idea. And I have no way to put it down, I gotta just try to remember it while everybody's singing hymns, I'm like, and the hymns are intruding. I'm like, no, I gotta think about it. I got the next plot. I got the next 4-issue plot in my head during midnight mass.
Yeah, I did read somewhere though that those ideas, like, jot them down, of course, but if they're going to be really, really good ones, they'll keep percolating up. Not that you shouldn't, record those. You got those gems and file them away. Those are great. Put, have a drawer, have a file for those. The napkin, the sticky note, the church bulletin that you've hidden away. Those are great, but those really good ideas will keep churning. And I love when you get that one little idea that you can just keep going with, and it's not just like, oh, that'd be a cool scene to add to a story, but like this, or when it's the idea that solves the problem. I love when you get stuck and you get that idea. And I keep saying this as if I am good at it, but writing every day, working at it every day is going to keep that going. And I feel like it's like when you can't think of somebody's name or you can't think of the name of a song. When you stop thinking about it,
Yeah. Boom.
Hour later. So bing, when you have, when you're working on a story and it's always like, okay, actively writing, put it away for a while. It's still going. It's back there. Then when you come back to it, either you've kind of resolved things that were prior, or you got a great idea and something you can't stop. You can't. And Rob, you're saying that you get in that groove. Yeah, and
I call it a Zen moment.
Yeah. It's a amazing thing. Yep, to keep it going. And I like the creative process too. Like I've said this too. I think group project might be one of the worst phrases ever in the history of the world, except for when you find what's that?
Oxymoron.
Yeah. Meaning, okay, I'll do it. You guys can get the grade. One person will take and run it. No, when you have a great group of people, just a couple people, and you find that group, and that, like Roy and I, our ideas, and we were on the same page. It was perfect. And I love that when you say, okay, well, so and so can jump off a building and he'll fly, and they'll be, wait a minute, what if he's pushed off the building and his jetpack doesn't work? And you keep getting those and getting better and better and better, or someone comes up with that, not a twist, but with a clever, the more clever way or the unexpected way to tell the story that's not just a rehashing of something. I love those moments. Those are amazing moments. Steam Patriots VIP, Richard Dunn. Yes, he's commenting, and that he has earned VIP status. You may see his likeness. Perhaps in a animated illustrated fashion somewhere along the line. What's the most laughable manner of thought transfer that have you? Oh, you So
toilet paper.
Where were you, Rob, at that moment?
And the thought comes to you, and where can I write this down? And there's toilet paper. So
Yep. That's good. I have a phone in my top dresser drawer that has a text message conversation between Rory and me from about 2008, 9, and when I went to Philadelphia, and I had all these ideas, and a lot of them made it onto paper, but a lot of them were just, like I was saying, those kernels that turn into something more amazing. All these great ideas back and forth. So text messages, it's not laughable, but that's what I had in my hands. I was walking around Philly. Anybody else have those 3 a.m. or what are you pointing at? Oh, Dean's got
pointing at Dean. Looks like.
Oh, you.
Oh yeah. I keep a pad of paper next to my bed because I always get the best phrases or vocalizations in the middle of the night. This is a perfect way to say this sentence. Yeah. He says it like this, and with these words. Mm-hmm. It's like thinking about the perfect comeback, a day after you've already had an argument.
I wish I would have
said I wish I'd have said that.
That sounds like my entire junior high career, like every single day. And then, like, when I was a junior in college, I'm like, that's what I should have said. And that's why I've needed a DeLorean ever since. So I could go back and do it right.
I love those moments because you've written it down, and it's probably it's past many edits, but then you're lying there and you're like, wait a minute, if he says it this way, I love it, and it's like it comes from nowhere sometimes too. Like it just bubbles up, and you're like, wait a minute, and it's so much better. What's frustrating is
subconscious took care of it,
right? Yeah. Going back to a story.
Brent.
I don't have a long list of stories, but seeing something and be like, oh, if he had said it this way, but it's already printed and it's said and done. Oh, well. Oh, Brent, hey, we are talking resolutions for 2020. Come on, man, catch up. 2020. I'm just quoting the president. 2022, and we've talked about what we've got planned. Have we written stuff down? What's in the way? How do we work? What do we want to get done? And we've all had just amazing, just wisdom, just compounding wisdom, each of us wiser than the last. So you just need to take it away, Brent. What's on
the horizon for Brent Larson, Silverline, other writing endeavors, creative endeavors, personal improvement endeavors. I know you just want to more muscles, bench press 1,000 pounds, and tow a tractor trailer with your teeth, something like that. I don't know.
This is anything.
Well, I mean,
creatively.
Okay,
we don't want to stop it. This is a moment.
You really want to hear like my new ideal weight goal?
Well,
I really
we have
just
talked
wanna
about
talk
that
about
too.
that,
We
but,
all admit. We all admit. We
well,
can't be Brent Larsons. We're all.
Yeah, actually, I keep a log of how the time I spend writing and if I'm successful at what I want to do, and I read last year's recently, and frankly, it was kind of depressing, but that's okay. There's some things that just can't be helped. I think that's something as a writer, like there's a lot of writers who read Stephen King's, on writing book and feel like Stephen King is my role model. Stephen King's not a great role model. He's just too good at what he does. Yeah.
He also did a lot of drugs to help what he does.
Well, he did, yeah. But I mean,
the methamphetamines can go a long ways in getting that paper done.
He used to. He says in the book, I write every day of the year except for Christmas and my birthday, and I also write on those days. And so it's hard to read that and then just think, I'm a loser. There's nothing I can do to compete. So I have to come to grips with that and the fact that life is a real thing that intrudes. So giving myself some grace there. I also realize that, I have a goal of writing 20 hours a week, and I really want to stick to that. So I'm just trying to find ways to keep motivated to do that. And the fact that I write the same time every day really helps. Yeah. But I also know that I also really need to focus. So I've been working for the last week on Kayla's issue 6, and I really want to get that thing knocked out. Dean has in his hands issues 1 through 4. 5 is halfway drawn and
it's amazing. Just finished it.
6 is almost
awesome
written. So I really want to. Cape Town issue 1 is being drawn and inked right now, and colored. Actually, it looks really sharp. But I'm gonna start it on the 2nd issue here really soon, and I already have the story laid out. So that'll be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to do all of that in the next 2 or 3 months. And I've got a lot of short stories I want to write, and maybe some longer stuff. I'm trying to give myself to build into my workload, frankly, some time to back off and let myself get inspired, which is not something I do well because I like grinding things out, but that's not necessarily what I want to do as a writer. I wrote for 20 hours a week and I love it. I did nothing of consequence, but I did 20 hours of it. Yeah, I don't want that. So I want something that's good. So that's something that I was actually curious if the rest of you guys are going to talk about that. How do you get that creativity, burning and fanning it to a nice flame? That's something I really want to try and do this year. So
realize that you have biorhythm is one of the things that I learned. Sometimes there's going to be times where you're rocking and rolling and things are just flowing off the end of the pencil or into the typewriter. And then there's other times you're sitting at the typewriter or the drawing board and it's just a struggle.
Yeah.
Learning to get past those. So your life is going to go through phases like that. You're going to have peaks and valleys. Learn to roll with the valleys and push the peaks. So it's going to happen, and you can't predict them either. That's the bad thing. It'd be nice if they were regular. There's a sine wave where it's just exactly the same all the time, but it's not like that. Life is not like that. So you just have to ride it, but realize that you're going to have times like that, and just roll with it.
Yeah.
Go with the flow.
And we got Mr. Dunn out there, Steam Patriots VIP. He's asking, is it improper for us or as an author or creator to share our thoughts for another author's creative development? I think he's meaning, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Dunn, Steam Patriots VIP, like we're doing right now. I mean, we sharing. Rob just gave us some wisdom on how the ebb and flow of our own rhythm. No, it does help. It helps stir. If it's the creative juices, what works for me might not work for somebody. We were just saying, I'm an AM kind of writer, creative first thing in the morning. Aaron's up till 5 a.m. I would be passed out. I would not function that way. I'm not a third shift kind of person. You're saying specific characters. Okay. So, you know what? I think that is a personal thing. Like, so I've not attended a lot of cons, but I had somebody start telling me what they think I should do with my story. I don't know who you are. I don't know.
No. Stop. I used to, when somebody does that, I go,
turned
stop.
around and told him what he could do with this.
Well, you don't want to get into the realm of unsolicited pitches, because then they'll come back at you that you stole their idea.
That's
right. Shut up
That's
about
the
it
exactly.
here in the first place.
You got to stop them when they do.
They had feedback for my story, and I'm like, well, and I'm new. I'm very new to this industry. So Robin, like, it's tough for me to say, take a hike, dude. He had a published comic book, and he wanted to tell me. He meant well, I think, other than he may have thought he was hot stuff. But I didn't ask. I don't even know your name. I don't know, why are you telling this? I think you need to establish a rapport, at least even professionally, where you can understand. And then you can ask. You can say, hey, do you want my feedback? Do you want my thoughts? And then as a professional, the giver or the receiver can say, lay it on me, or nah, you know what? I think I got it. And it's on my head if I flop because I didn't take any advice, or I think I got this and I think it's going to be awesome, and maybe it will. So that's a tough area sometimes. This group, like all these people, all their faces here, feedback. I would love it. We've done that. I think we've all seen each other's stories. We've got some great ideas, and take it or leave it. And that's another professional thing too. Like if Dean were to give me some ideas and I thought, no thanks, Dean. Dean'd be like, okay, cool. I think he would. Yeah, he'd be like, fine, let your story suck, but okay. We're fine with that. So
it's funny. He said the same thing to me.
Dean, fine.
Dean, you're so critical.
I did. He's telling stories.
If we'd all just listen to Dean. When you were at a professional level, acting professionally, feedback. If we accept it, take it, and if it's accepted or taken, so be it. Yeah. John was saying though, if people are trying to give you story ideas, and then if I took their story and ran with it, I'm too small for. I don't know if anybody would care, but that's why the big guys. That's why publishers don't take unsolicited, unagented solicitations, because I send my story off, they turn it into something without. I could say, oh, that's my story. They stole it, and. That's a problem.
Larkin Marie says Steam Patriots fan fiction. Now I'm gonna jump in here just for a second. I'm a huge fan of fan fiction. I've read it all my life.
And people make a very good living off fan fiction.
The
Shades of Grey.
There have been a couple of really nasty authors out there that have not allowed their characters to be written about. Anne Rice was one. She would send cease and desist orders to fans who were writing their own take on her Lestat series, and that alienated a lot of her fans.
Yeah.
I, for one, if somebody wanted to write divinity fan fiction, more power to them, because I've written plenty of fan fiction in my lifetime. You'll never read it because it's under a pseudonym. But yeah, I love fan fiction. I don't have a problem. And I mean, I think it's a compliment. Somebody has found my story so compelling that they want to sit down and write about it.
There is an element of being precious with your work, where you feel like, I mean, essentially, Anne Rice was saying, my work is so utterly amazing that your fan fiction is diluting a work of genius, which doesn't speak well of Anne Rice's frame of mind. When it would have been nicer if she'd said, hey, you know, it's just a vampire story. Maybe it's good, but, you know, knock yourself out. And then she'd be more beloved. Now people are just like,
she turned me off. I have no interest in reading anything she's ever written. So that's just me. Roland makes a good point. Alienated maybe, but it didn't hurt her sales. Got to protect the mark. So you know, there's some of that to that, but
I think it's a personal preference,
like me.
Especially because there are some fanfic writers out there that get rather popular and they start monetizing it, and that runs into
problems.
That's a problem.
Start doing that.
Yeah, as long as they don't make money off of it.
Exactly. Yeah, but there are some that are doing that, and that kind of runs into the same where they were saying for years it's going to blow up on conventions and Artist Alley, where everybody has their bootleg versions of all these pinups of characters that they've never professionally worked on before. You know, but that was kind of on that writing side too.
I think there's definitely something to be opening the floodgates. I do feel like you shouldn't open them too much.
Yeah.
If somebody wrote fan fiction about my stuff, would I want them to stop? Yeah, probably, because I don't want the people to get mad. I don't want people to start reading the fan fiction and think, oh, well, this is the main story. No.
Mm-hmm.
And also,
if they can't differentiate the product, if they think
the product, and to me, I'm like, if you're gonna go through all the trouble to write a fan fiction, just make up your own characters, man. Just rename them.
Yeah.
How hard is it to change a name or a setting? He did that 50 Shades of Grey. That was a Twilight. They renamed it, and then that's their own thing. So to me, for somebody to go through and write fan fiction, to me, it seems they're cashing in on the property name. Or
if they're making a profit off it, I have a problem with that. And I know creators out there who police that sort of thing. As long as a person isn't making any money off of their characters, they don't have a problem with it. As soon as they start making money off of it, they'll go after them. But the thing is, people are going to write fan fiction no matter what you care, what you think, because there are sites out there that host those stories.
Oh yeah,
and
I know you can't stop them.
And if you're going to beat your head against the wall constantly trying to police what people are putting out there, you're not getting anything else done.
Yeah. I think like ABC, Paramount, Star Trek, not CBS, Star Trek. I thought they policed too hard, and I feel like they could have had the opportunity to embrace with all of the extra outside the canon Star Trek stuff. I feel like
even like the short shows and stuff.
If they could have
really good shows.
Brought them in,
but they can't make money with it.
Partnered with them. I feel like they could have, and they could have grown. Like they could have grown the. Now I don't know all the details, but they could have grown the universe. They could have shepherded this project a little, come into an agreement, and had a little bit of creative control rather than fight the thing. They could have said, "Here, thank you." And not gotten bad press about any heavy-handed lawsuits and all that sort of stuff.
Well,
I was watching some of the truck.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I was watching some of the Trek stuff happening, and it seemed like when they're like the fan films were starting to do so well, and they were bringing in Trek actors.
Yeah.
Like the guy who played Tuvok and oh god, who else was there? One of the guys from Battlestar Galactica, Chekhov. Yeah, so when they started actually pulling in
Nichelle Nichols
people, they were kind of like, whoa, back. I think that's kind of when
they should have started earlier. They should have recognized it, and they could have worked along with it. I feel like that would have been the better thing rather than damage control later.
Now, one of the books out there that I think do a really good job of this is ElfQuest. Wendy and Richard are very proprietary about how you use their characters. They don't care if you're writing or even drawing or anything with it. But as soon as you start turning the buck on their product, they are all over you, and they should be. They have a rabid following of fans, and those fans will find these people that are making money, and they will run back and report.
They do.
And it works very, very well. I completely agree with the way that they do things. You can have as much fun as with their characters as you want, as long as you don't make any money off of it.
I was in. Aaron.
Sorry. There was like there's a documentary, George Lucas versus the People. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that begs the question: if you open that floodgates and let that go, and they're fan writing, then the creator, like George Lucas, comes along and wants to change it. People are like, well, you can't do that, and they forget that he owns that. That's his to do with as he will. Even if you don't like it, doesn't matter. It's his.
That's true.
But people are like, no, we own this. So that, I think, could be a little dangerous, especially with the proliferation of it on the internet. Because, people can publish whatever they're on the internet and they don't have to cite me. Like, they wrote my stories, they don't have to cite me as the author. They can do whatever they want. And so starting that starts to become like public domain. And unless something is actually legally public domain and it's not, then no. I mean, unfortunately, George Lucas does own it. Whether you don't like his stuff or do like his changes, he owns it. And
Disney
I think that's something people
yeah.
have to remember and respect. And also when a lot of these people come in and decide to rewrite somebody's story. And I've seen that happen too. We don't like the ending, so we're going to rewrite it. No, it doesn't work that way.
And it was actually kind of cool for a while. Like Lucasfilm, they were doing... they were actually encouraging some fan films, and they were actually giving awards. My favorite was the Pink 5 trilogy. If any of you have ever seen that, look that up.
Yes.
Star Wars Pink 5. It's a girl named Stacy who happens to talk like a Valley Girl that was on the Death Star run with everybody else. And then it fleshed out into a nice 4-part thing. It's hilarious. And to me, it's canon. And I think, with the Star Wars ones, at least it started off with Kevin Rubio's Troops. If you've never seen that,
I've seen that.
You need to see it, because if anybody loved the scene with the 2 biker scouts in Mandalorian season 2, that is directly taken from Kevin Rubio's
Really?
Troops. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we're talking like the late 90s. So yeah, Rubio's Troops. It's up on YouTube. Take a look for it. He also did a couple characters called Tag and Bink for some Star Wars stories at Dark Horse. They're awesome. Look him up. Find him on Twitter. He's like a real nice guy. I consider that canon as well.
But that also would that fall in the parody?
No, and actually, well, that one did, because that one was actually a mashup of Star Wars and Cops, which is why it was called Troops. But the other one was actually done for the competition, which was the Pink 5 series. I know the first time I ever ran into anything fan fiction, I had no idea what the stuff was. I was a senior in high school, I think, and they were like photocopying books back then. It was called To Save the Alliance. And it was a mashup of V, if you remember, like the lizards, V, Battlestar Galactica, Knight Rider, Airwolf.
They used to sell that. Wow. They used to sell those things underneath the table at conventions. You got. It was
so cool. It was so cool. Somebody had a copy of it, and I read it, and I'm like, "This thing is awesome." So, but yeah.
I can't help it. I can't help it. I like fans. Fandom is what got me into comics, and I was a fan first and a pro second, so I have a soft spot for it.
That's actually something that has changed the entire landscape of pop culture, and that is, if we're even talking about Anne Rice. I mean, Anne Rice was big in the 90s, and people were just starting to discover what huge fandom really was. Not just that you're a fan of something, but you can actually have the ability to create content that doesn't belong to you. And so, I mean, a good example of how it works is, with remember when, they debuted that Deadpool short film. Yeah. And everyone loved it so much that Marvel finally paid attention and actually greenlit the movie, and now they're printing their own money practically off there. I mean, that never would have happened if fan fiction was so completely policed that those guys never would have been able to drop that on the internet or anything, or even get it made. The fact is now, fandom is something that executives gauge when they're planning projects. I mean, it was an excellent way for them to do market research without actually having to do anything.
Yeah, and sometimes
no money out either. Yeah.
Roland says best fanfic ever: "Man of Steel, Woman of Kleenex" by Larry Niven.
And it's bad sometimes when fans.
Yeah, look that one up. Yeah.
Another huge champion of fanfic is actually Neil Gaiman.
Oh, cool.
He loves it. And he says, I can't put it down because I wrote my own fanfic. It was the Sherlock Holmes take that he did. He says that was fan fiction.
When fanfic is better than the actual product that's coming out, you know you've got a problem. There was a gentleman, I don't know who it was, but he did his own short fan film of Power Rangers that actually wound up having James Vanderbeek and oh my gosh, what's her name? She played Kara Thrace in Galactica. She's the voice of Bitch Pudding from Butch Pudding. She's friends with Strawberry Shortcake. Well, not friends with anybody, but lives in that.
Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah.
There's actually
we lost your mic.
Okay, back.
Yep.
You're back.
Yay!
Back.
Stupid button. But yeah, so Katie Sackhoff was in there. Vanderbeek was in there. And it was actually better than the Power Ranger movie that came out. So that's kind of crazy. And yeah, so it's kind of interesting. And going back to earlier, my phone just kind of chirped a minute ago. Remember, Scott, I was telling you that last year I set up my reminder. So it's like, I can't see it as my background, but it says, have you written your 2 pages? You know, so yeah, I haven't done that yet today.
We believe you. Hey, we're down to the last few minutes of our show here. We did take a hard pew on fanfic there on the Steam Patriots fanfic question, which was awesome. I love that I have been away for 2 months and the show has not changed one bit. Not at all. One little puff of air and we're
go off the rails.
A bird.
When I was on Copy, we called that thread drift.
Yeah.
Abort.
And we've been talking about resolutions, and I love that everyone's like, I have to take away the distractions. I have to buckle down, put the blinders on, and
then we go off the rails
with the distractions.
I love it. If you're just tuning in, we're about to wrap up. We've been talking about resolutions, and we've been talking about our plans for 2022. Rick, VIP, Steam Patriots VIP, Squirrel. Yeah. What? We are. Yes, creative folks trying to make stories, trying to make great stories. John Medic is got his story coming up next, I believe, here in this month. So real quick, John, like your 20-second elevator. What's the story?
Elevator pitch.
All right. So this is your opportunity to get a new Sniper and Rook #1. First time in a long time. Sniper and Rook #1, Area 50. What? Sniper and Rook are dispatched by their general to take a look at some going-ons at the most well-known secret base ever, Area 51. Ties back to Roswell, ties back to one of their previous adventures, but you don't have to have any previous Sniper and Rook knowledge to enjoy the series jumping in now. I want your money. Save that Christmas money. Kickstarter January.
Coming soon from Silverline. And we have silverlinecomics.com. As always, go check out all of our titles over there. And John's story will be on Kickstarter. If you haven't liked, subscribed, all those things that you know how to do on all the socials, do it now, because you will get the notifications. You'll be the first to know when things go live on Kickstarter, with updates, with all the secret insider stuff that we like to post out there. These shows, our Sunday night show, this show, we give you the little extras. We don't want to give you all the extras because you're the true fans. We love you guys out there. As always, yes, thanks to Daytona Beach for their support of us, Daytona Beach Comic Convention. And I don't know if I'm forgetting because I have been away for a long time. And Dean has been an amazing host. Thank you for letting me jump back in, Dean. And this has been an outrageously fun time. I don't want to cut anybody short if we have any parting thoughts, but we're down to our last few minutes. Have I forgotten anything vital about Silverline and about stories and what we've got coming up.
I don't think so. We do want to. Roland says, "I hope that Rob becomes a regular."
Yes.
Hint, hint, and that was seconded by our fan Eric.
Yes.
Yeah, here's
here's
the bad thing about that. Wednesdays has been my day to actually work on comic stuff. So this cuts into my creative time. But I will look at my schedule and see if I can't fix that.
We love having you here.
Well, we hope you can. We'd love to have you, Rob.
Barb's saying,
you can find the current Christmas special on both Indiegogo and
Indie Planet.
Indie Planet.
Indie Planet. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, Indie Planet.
Indie Planet.
Yeah,
IndiePlanet.com.
Great book. I haven't sat down to read it yet, but I've paged through it. Gosh, there's some great stuff in there.
Yeah. IndiePlanet.com. Type in Silverline in the search bar. You're going to get all of our titles there. Most of them. We've got stuff that's just come out. As always, thank you to all of our supporters on Kickstarter and all the folks that share. That's how we get the word out there. Support us as creators. We would love that. And that's a wrap for our Wednesday Wham show. Before we go,
that's a wrap.
Make mine Silverline. As always.
Silverline.
Love you all out there. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
My name is Ross Ritchie from Boom Studios, and make mine Silverline.